Hey, what's up, everybody? Jared back again, and I want to talk about a client of mine, a coaching client, because I think that her story is freaking awesome, if I'm honest. And I hope at least that her story will end up being encouraging for people who are going through or dealing with an injury right now, or who work with people who are trying to recover from an injury, whether that's as a coach or as a clinician or even just a friend, family member, spouse, whatever. So this client and I started working together last May in 2018. At that time, she had been dealing with some persistent low back pain, which had been around for a while, some knee pain, which was newer than the back pain, but it also stuck around for a bit, and some weird sort of variable left, I think it was left lateral hip / lateral leg pain. And all these symptoms were making it really difficult for her to train. Her performance was very variable, and it was also impacting her confidence regarding whether she thought she could manage this or these things and continue to make progress, because she wanted to be a better powerlifter. She was also fairly new when it came to having, let's say, reasonably structured training. She'd been lifting for a while, and prior to working together, she had a history of training heavy regularly and just didn't have the opportunity to build a lot of training skill, let's say. And in terms of numbers, when we started working together in May of 2018, her best squat was 215, best bench was 125, and best deadlift was 275. And again, fluctuating performance in the gym due to her symptoms. So today, she did her first meet, and she hit a 242.5 pound squat, and she narrowly missed her third attempt of 254. She hit a 132.3 pound bench and also narrowly missed 138. And then she pulled 314.2 pounds for the deadlift with an easy 10 to 15 pounds extra. But we lowered the deadlift attempt strategically just to make sure that we finished with a good record of 7 for 9. And she also won. She won her weight class in the first time out, which is awesome. And then just for additional context, all of her best lifts in the gym were 245 and 245 for the squat, 145 for the bench, and 320 for the deadlift. Should also say for weight, before we started working together, she was anywhere from the mid to low 130s to 140-ish for body weight, and she was just on that higher end of that same sort of body weight range now. So I'm extremely pleased and proud of her in her ability to improve her performance and hit these numbers. What I think I'm most pleased to see, though, is that her performance is less volatile. We've got more consistency. And that's not to say in any way, shape, or form that means we haven't had any ups and downs. We've had some massive ups and downs, some really high highs, some really low lows, due to a whole slew of factors. She's a student, and then school, training, other life stuff. That's just made for quite the roller coaster ride. But in the midst, because of that roller coaster ride and the necessity of navigating it, we've strengthened our relationship as coach and client. We figured out how best to communicate with each other. We've played around with different training approaches and styles and seen what she's responded best to at different points in time. Because when things are a little bit less stressful, let's say, maybe she does best with this, approach X. And then when things are really hectic and we need to keep her training and just survive the next few weeks, maybe approach Y is a bit better suited. So we've been able to experiment with those things and recognize what's given us the best return on the investment. With all of this, she's built a ton of training skill. And that's certainly the ability to execute the lifts, but it's also an understanding of when to push harder, when to go above and beyond, and when to pull back, when to take a lateral step, when to step back from a particular exercise or set, and just recognize that we got to live to fight another day on this day, and it's going to come back around. And the last thing I want to say is that as much as she's matured into a better powerlifter and has the opportunity now to continue to develop into a really formidable powerlifter on the platform, she's discovered a lot more about what she's capable of as a person, and that's evident in her daily interactions with me and with other people. She's more confident now. She knows that if her back's up against the wall, she's got a lot of fight in her, and she's resourceful. She'll figure out how to survive. Doesn't mean she doesn't take a couple licks, like the rest of us mere mortals too. But she's she knows that she can survive and that she can get through stuff. So, just some final points to drive home here. This happened over 16 months. Yeah, 16 months of work, continuous work with each other. We didn't take really any time off of training, nothing substantial. There's been a lot of learning on both of our ends in terms of how to work with each other, how to be better athlete on her end, how to be a better coach on my end. We've relied a lot on other people's help. So people like John Flagg, he's been essentially the second coach as of late, especially, and he was also the handler at the meet. But I think training is a very evolving process. We've talked a lot about that with people like Mike Tashir, Kevin Can, and the like. I think it's important to remember when we're training ourselves and when we're working with other clients, be it coaching clients or rehab clients. So if you're struggling, if you've had some low periods recently, recognize that you're not alone at the very least, and there's a really good chance that you can weather the storm, and with some grit and persistence, maybe some creativity, there's a fairly high likelihood that you can gain ground again. It just may not happen as quickly as you'd like. That's the case for most of us, I think, but it can happen. So if anybody is interested at all in coaching, we do offer clinical athlete coaching, not just for powerlifters. For anyone who's looking to get stronger and get better at their respective sport, hit us up. We'd be more than happy to speak with you and then hopefully work with you. All right, guys, we'll catch you in the next one.